Okay, let's move on to the inspirational speaker session. But before we get started, let's welcome our inspirational speaker for this session, Ms. Burcu Ataisahin, the Customer Experience Lead of APAC and EMEA at TikTok. Hi, Ms. Burcu. Hi, Ms. Ahin. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ferdian. Nice to see you as well. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Ahin, for giving your time to
Yeah,
share your
thank
inspiring
you
story
so much
today.
for spending time with me and inviting me as well. Yeah, we don't see the PowerPoint. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Um, yeah, thank you so much. It's been really great being here. So very nice to see you all again. Yeah, we've worked with Mr. Jing before. It was during COVID times and difficult times, and we pushed through. So it's really nice to be connecting with everyone here at Bukit Vista again.
Wow, that's great. Yes. Um, Without further ado, let's take a look into her journey in the digital marketing field. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I can give you a bit of an introduction of what I've done, where I've been in general. So I started my career in at my hometown in a large corporate organization called Inji Holding. They do car parts, like as in wheels and the I don't know what it's called, the thing, or in English, the thing that's like in the car batteries, motors and whatever. So nothing to do with the digital world at all. I don't know what okay, yes, correct. Um, so nothing to do with the digital world at all, but they needed to be digitalized and they needed some help. So they hired the youngest person that they can find, I think, to help them to figure out what social media is. They were a very um, a non-digitalized company, very traditional type of company. So I set their website, I set their social media accounts, and everything. And it was a really good introduction of like, what's the basic need of a company when they want to digitalize. So that was like a good introduction for me. Then I decided to do my master's in communications, and I went to London. So at London, while I was studying, I also worked at a management consultancy company called Kinetic Solutions. And there, again, this was also it was a bit more digitalized company. They had their websites and everything, but they still needed someone to ramp up their digital operations. So I helped them out with that. And I also learned quite a lot about management consultancy during that time. So that was a good experience as well. Then I came back from London, back to Turkey, and I started looking for a job. And of course, as a fresh graduate, that tends to be difficult. I found a job in a small startup called Adforus. It was a small startup that only had like, I think, 10 employees at the time, but they had a really good product. They had a really solid AI solution that helped advertisers grow in their advertisements. So at the time, if you're familiar with Facebook or TikTok ads, we at the time, the AI solution that Adforce provided would do something similar to CBO, if you're familiar with that, the campaign budget optimization. So back in 2016, we were doing CBO before CBO became a thing, and it was selling like great because it was a solution that really added value to the market, and also it really spoke to the needs of the advertisers at the time. We've also like packaged it really nicely. It was a robot called Marvin and everything. And one thing that we did really strategically, so I'm saying we because I was a part of the leadership in Adforus. Being 10 people, everyone's kind of part of the leadership, right? So you all make decisions together as a company. And one of the things that we did, I think, really well is that we decided to focus on travel. And the reason for this was because actually we looked at our competitors, and we had a competitor called Smartly.io, which you do see next to the Adforce and Sojourn one. We had a competitor called Smartly.io, and they were really strong in e-commerce. If we were to keep targeting e-commerce clients, we would never beat them because they had a whole army of developers, a whole army of sellers, salespeople, really, really great talent. Where they were not really paying attention to was travel, because travel is the second largest industry in the advertising world. But because e-commerce was so big, that travel was kind of in the secondary space. So we said, let's focus on travel. And we started looking into like booking.coms, Trivagos, and then we started looking into APAC. There were Traveloka. There were so many large travel advertisers that we could look into. And it also helped us see smaller advertisers with a potential as well. One of the greatest examples I can give you is Fiji Airways. Fiji Airways was advertising maybe $10, $20 per month. Well, we saw that they really had a good potential. And now they're actually like one of the largest advertisers. And we really helped them grow in that area and making their advertisements optimized. So thanks to that, that specialization into travel, we started growing. And we got attention of a larger travel company called Sojourn. Sojourn is a data aggregator, and they work mainly on the Google side of things. And they, at the time, of course, travel is booming and everything. You can see the timelines is 2016 to 2020. So this is like 2018 to 2019, I think, that I'm talking about. Sojourn realizes us that if they want to grow in Facebook, they're going to need a partner, and we're growing really well. So they acquired that for us back in 2018 when everything was great. And that's also how I moved to Singapore in the first place, because I was looking after the APAC region from Istanbul, which was very challenging because of the time zones. So they said, Virgie, why don't we move you to Singapore? We have an office here and you can do your job much better. So they moved me to Singapore, and that's how I came. Unfortunately for us, a few years later, COVID hit the travel market really heavily, as you might have also experienced it. And Sojourn made the decision to shut down its Facebook product completely. So that was a really tough time in our lives, I think for all of us. Not only dealing with having to stay home and not catching COVID, but also having to deal with unemployment and future endeavors as well. Thankfully, Smartly came to the rescue, because Smartly knew what was happening, and they knew that we were their direct competitors, and we were doing really good. So they said, well, for those of you that want, we want to hire you. So Smartly hired quite a bit of us, thankfully, and kind of saved the day in a way. And I still have a lot of friends who are from AdFirst and then Smartly. And yeah, so, but the one catch for me was they said, well, we don't have a role in Singapore. If you want to move to Berlin, we can do that. Well, I said, well, why not? I moved to Singapore once. I can try Berlin too. So we moved to Berlin, but we missed Singapore, and especially we missed Asia like crazy. So a few months later, I've asked Smartly, hey, I know you have a head of customer success position open in APAC. Can I apply for that? And if I get it, can I move? Luckily for me, I got the role, and we moved back to Singapore 9 months later. And I was there for about a year, like about 2 years actually, from 2020 to 2021. And then last year, I got an opportunity in TikTok as the customer experience lead. This role is a little bit more different, I guess. It's a little bit different than what I was doing before, because as you can see, it's always been customer success for me. And then this latest role is customer experience, which is actually on the product side of things. And I get to do a lot more troubleshooting for our clients. I'm not dedicated to any client. So we're just providing troubleshooting solutions to our advertisers here. And I'm leading the team for APAC and EMEA. So that's my journey. Hope it was inspiring.
Oh, it's really inspiring. We've seen your journey starting from the very beginning up until now. You're at TikTok. and we also notice the transition between companies and also the goals of each companies.
Mhm.
And I believe we're all interested to know about the details. And so let's move on to the Q&A session. And I noticed from your LinkedIn profile that you began your career
Yeah.
as an intern, and now you have progressed to the role of a team lead. Could you share your journey on your transition from being a learner into a leader in your field?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. I started as an intern, and that internship was actually with a local newspaper in my hometown. I remember I like it. The thing with internships in Turkey is there is no set role for an intern, so they kind of make you do whatever they need. And the thing they needed was for someone to fetch if there's a fax that was sent to the office. So I started my job with that. They didn't even tell me to do it. I just realized the need and I started, well, looks like someone they seem to be like getting up and going to the fax machine quite a lot. I'll just do it for them. So that's how I started it. And then from then on, actually, I found that there was this one lady who was about to go on maternity leave. So I decided, well, what if I learn what she does, and then I can kind of sort of try to do what she's doing whenever she would go to like doctor's visits or things like that. Of course, I couldn't cover her entire maternity leave, but at least I've learned it enough so that whenever she would go on like doctor's visits and stuff, I could cover for her. And what she was actually doing, interestingly, her job was called, like, I think, like the statistician or something. And what she would do is she would take the competing newspapers and she would count how many advertisements and how big of those advertisements she's getting. That the competitors are getting, and then they had like a formula that they would put into, and they would calculate what is the average revenue that the competitors are making. So that kind of I mean, today I'm pretty sure you can just put it on a AI machine. The AI can tell you like which are the advertisements, how big they are, and then calculate and then pop out a number. But at the time, this is like 2014, no, not even 2013, I think. This was done manually in Turkey. So that's how I started, but it's still about advertisements. That's what I realized. It's still about advertisements. It's still about statistics and numbers and learning about data, even though it was extremely manual. And then from then on, what I've done is one of the things that I've taken up the most, and this is one of my life strategies as well, is there is no small role. There is no small job. You never know what becomes big. So never think that it's not going to be something that's not going to work out. Give it a try and try it out. Of course, make calculations and make calculated decisions, but don't think that just fetching the facts in the fax machine is a small job. Even from that, you can find about more people, what people are doing, what people are learning. And that's what got me to the lead role. Originally, when I got the lead role in AdForest, when I was officially introduced to the leadership there, a lot of people actually said, why is Burcu in leadership? She's not that experienced. She's not that, she's not that important. But our CEO at the time, Mr. Jing, I think you might have met him, Volkan, he said, Burcu is showing a lot of potential, and she's actually taking up about 50% of our total revenue. I want her in the leadership team because she has good potential. And she really started teaching, he really started teaching me from there. And I got, even though I was not like a official part of the leadership for a while, I got to learn so much, like how does a startup exit happen? How does a merger and acquisition work? What to do, what not to do. So I just absorbed everything from that experience. And it was just one of the most wonderful things that I could have done, I think.
Oh, it's really good. I've noticed that you always learn from your mentor and you absorb new things and you continuously learn something, right?
That's it. That's what
Yes,
you need to
and
do.
that's
In this industry, everything is changing so much that if you're
yes,
not
that's true.
constantly learning, you will fall behind for sure.
That's true. And we still have some time. Maybe I will give the opportunity to the audience here if you want to ask questions. Or Mr. Jing, maybe? Do you have questions?
I'll ask the last question, but let's give everyone else a fair chance too,
Okay.
Birdie.
Everyone else? Okay. Kak Nadia, Kak Adil. Go on.
Okay, I'll go first. So, hi, Brochure. My name is Nadia. So, straight to the questions. I would like to ask regarding how do you recommend the incorporating of the essence, because TikTok is now very popular, right?
Mhm,
The incorporating the essence of TikTok's engaging user experience
mhm.
into the fabrics of our hospitality service here in Bali, so that we can ensure that we're not only meet but also exceed the guest expectation.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful question. So, I would say the most important, I guess the most or the biggest advert advantages of being in travel is that it's very visual. Like everyone wants to look at like nice villas, like the sand and the beach, or if you're advertising for like a ski resort, the nice mountains and stuff. So everything is very visual, and I think we're very lucky for it. Like if you're thinking about a regular e-commerce site, what they're selling is not that visual. They have to make it appealing for you. They have to add the value add on top. Like if they're selling you, I don't know, a kitchen mixer or something, it's not very visual. They have to add the element of like maybe you're cooking with the kitchen blender. What are you cooking? So they have to add these extra elements in it. Whereas with travel, you don't need to add much. Like you just show them the nice sand and the beach, and the value add is kind of there. I mean, yes, you can add the family having fun at the beach, and then you can add that. So understand your audience. That's the thing with the travel. There are different types of travelers that you can advertise to, and in order to enhance their experience, you need to understand what is the added value for that type of a consumer. So like if you're more of a maybe family resort, then we might want to show like more children with the families playing in the sand. If you're advertising more for couples, like couples retreats and resorts and stuff. So it's with the travel, it's important to know what kind of traveler. Could be business travelers as well. In that case, maybe they don't really care much about like the amenities, but they might want like a gym or pool and stuff. So that's the thing. You need to know your audience and then advertise according to that audience. And that's, I mean, it's basic thing for every advertiser, but I think it's much more important for travel, simply because it is easier, I think, to think of what kind of travelers that can be interested in the experience that you're selling. And it's also, I guess, like, one thing I can think of is that it's an experience that you're selling. You're not just selling the product. There is no product. The product is that experience, is that time well spent. So focusing on those, I think, will make your advertisement a lot more relevant for a lot more people.
Thank you for the great answer.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for okay. Thank you for sharing, Ms. Lahin, for inspiring
course.
sharing such an inspiring story. I believe we'd love to hear more about your journey, but unfortunately, due to the
Oh,
limited
let's go to
time.
Adil. Birdie, give Adil a chance to ask a question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kak Adil, okay. One last question. Kak Adil, you may ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, Virgil. Nice to
Hi
meet you
there.
again.
Nice to see you.
We've worked before in the past on our Facebook ads campaign. Yeah, just quick question. Thank you again also for sharing your inspiring journey. I see that you're mostly on customer experience. I'm wondering, like, what do you see as the most important journey within the customer experience to optimize? Based on your
Mhm.
experience, would it be more on the awareness or conversion side, or do you see
Like
that?
in the funnel, right?
Yeah.
I can't pick one. I think they're all very important. They're all important depending on where you are in the maturity of your product, I think. If it's a new product that no one knows about, then awareness is extremely important. You really have to build that funnel and have enough people in your funnel to bring it down. It's important to keep the funnel large so that you can catch as many people as possible. And especially in the early days of a product journey, what I've learned is that the original audience that you're thinking that might be interested in your product, it is there, but there are also other audiences that you might have never thought of before. And this is, again, going back to the there is no small job type of thing. There is no small guest, or there is no small user in our case. You really should try to capture a large group of people and then see who's interested in your product and what are they interested in. And that's the middle part of our funnel. So when we got people interested, we collected them, and then now we're trying to figure out what is it that adds value for them, what is it that gets their interest, what moves them towards buying your product. And that's when we might want to start testing things out with A/B testing. A/B testing tends to be a little bit more expensive because you have to try it and then learn and then apply. And so it tends to be a bit more costly, but especially creative A/B testing, value A/B testing, I find it extremely important. And like you can try out, for example, when I show them the family picture or when I show them the business meeting rooms in our resort, let's say, which one moves people, or maybe it moves different types of people. And today, luckily, both Meta and TikTok provides a lot of really good resources in order to A/B test at a lower cost. So things like we're doing for the Meta ads right now, we're adding multiple pictures, or we've done on the awareness one, we've added multiple pictures with multiple different descriptions. And then Meta tested it itself on the back end to see which picture worked best with which description, and then it started showing that more often. So looking at those reports, analyzing the data and understanding what people are valuing, you would then be able to do a much better and much more focused conversion campaign at the end of the funnel. So once you move people there, then they just need that extra push. And how you do that extra push is extremely important, because at that point, your audience is kind of shrunk down quite a bit, but it's very, very, it's very dense in a way. Like the quality of the audience is very high, but the number of people is very low. So at that point, you really need to know what is it that moves people, give them that right push, and have them move down towards conversion. So I would say all three stages are very important. I don't think I can choose one.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Yeah,
Mhm.
really informative.
Okay, I believe we have learned a lot from her story, right? But unfortunately, due to the limited time, I'm afraid we have to conclude our sharing session, and we will continue to the internal update session. We welcome you, Ms. Sahin, to join. But if you have another agenda, you feel free to leave the meeting room. Once again,
All right.
thank you for your time, and hopefully we cross paths in the future.
Thank you so much as well. Please
Oh,
feel
Mr.
free
Jing.
to. Oh, sorry, Mr. Jinghard.
Before I conclude, I think Berchu should have actually gotten an introduction before we actually brought it in. Listen up, everybody. Berchu's a legend. So it's not very often that we get somebody that is actually probably the domain expert in a particular field. Berchu went to Johns Hopkins and also the London School of Economics, and she's been, I think, even with such a prestigious background, as you can see, she is absolutely committed to a very humble approach towards gaining knowledge, towards sharing. And every engagement I've ever had with Berchu, I feel very lucky to be speaking with her. It's not very often that you get somebody who's actually that expertise, willing to be so humble and also so open and so willing to continuously learn. So you guys are all experiencing, I think, one of the legendary people, and that's why I'm sure TikTok could see that too, and that's why they made her a lead for customer success in Asia. Okay, so hopefully all this knowledge and wisdom can permeate through our young collective minds. And thank you, Virtue, for being one of our greatest inspirational speakers today.
Thank you, Mr. Jing. Thank you for your kind words. You're very kind. And yeah, like I said, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer as well. Whenever you need, feel free to reach out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Virtue, for coming in.
Thank
I'll see you
you.
guys later.
Have a good meeting. Bye.
Okay. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and begin. So here we go. Thank you for getting Virtue out here. Actually, it's very inspirational. Our journey with Virtue started a few years back. We were looking for Gani. I think you and Rizal were all looking together to look for some guidance on digital marketing, which is it can be a very noisy element if you try to look for gurus online on Instagram or YouTube. But Virtue is the real OG. She handled, I think, budgets in the tens of millions of dollars for campaigns, and just generally a really, really good person. Not difficult to talk to, very humble, also very knowledgeable too, which is excellent. All right, so let's get into the 2023 vision. So where are we now? So I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is that we have reached our semester goal and we've overachieved on both revenue and the hospitality targets. So I think it's worthwhile to actually congratulate ourselves on that. So maybe let's take a moment and just be like, yeah, we're awesome. We reached the semester goals, right? Yay. Yay. No? Okay. Whatever. I'm just here to convey your happiness as a humble CEO. But anyway, if you're not happy, then I guess you can choose to not be happy either. Well, let's get the happiness up because I'm about to tell some bad news. So it'll kind of plunge us into a dark hole. So maybe we go up a little bit and then go down. Okay, we'll just try to keep it level then. Everyone's a stoic. By you have a whole army of people that are copying your philosophy, it appears. So be stoic, yeah? Bad news, good news, no such thing, right? It's just news. Okay, I love it. All right, there you go, Bayu. I love your fireworks. Maybe you can teach everyone how to do that so we can generate like digital inspirational, digital delight. Holy shit. Copyright that phrase, digital delight. I don't know if anyone's copyrighted that, but okay. So that is good news, and semester bonuses will be paid accordingly. Okay, so that's good news, but there is bad news too. And there's a lot of sloppiness, and we're slowing down towards the end. And I'll show you what that actually looks like, okay? We looked at this particular picture last time, and this is a ball that's just stopping on the goal line. And that's been our case for the past 3 weeks. And accumulatively, it's looked a little bit like this now. We are finishing lower than where we began on our hospitality. So let me repeat that again so everyone understands. We're finishing now at the end of the semester lower than where we began, which is not good news. Here's the proof. So if you go on Airbnb right now, and you look at the performance stats, our beginning, oh God, that's such a terrible screenshot. I guess you're just gonna have to take my word, right? Because my word is good, right? Anyways, this is a screenshot of the beginning. It was 70.6 on our overall hospitality score. And today, at the end, we're at 68.8. Not the best, right? We've actually dropped a few percentage points. Now, of course, it's a cumulative effort, but where we're ending right now is actually lower than where we began in April. Not the best thing. Okay, so in addition, September was not very great at all. September, we finished at 68.8 and a 4.54 overall score, all right, which is definitely below where we want to be. And also, we didn't hit our we didn't hit our monthly targets for revenue. So that's bad and bad. So as a result, this will result in bonus caps for this September. It's just basically a fail on hospitality and a fail on revenue. And it's unfortunate because we did reach the semester goals, okay? Anyways, I'll take a look at all the evidence and decide how much the bonus cap will be, but it's probably going to be a bit larger than previous bonus caps because of this. That being said, I want to clarify something, okay? I want to clarify something here. Semester goal bonuses are tied to your individual bonus, and they're evaluated over the semester, okay? It's not tied to the month. The month has bonus caps and everything. to correct the corrective course of everyone's actions so that we can reach semester goals. Okay, so that means that everyone who is here will be paid a semester bonus according to their own individual contributions. Okay, and it's right now it's a 4x on this one. All right, so here's the part where I need your feedback at some point. All right, the employee journals on this particular month are going to be probably the most important ones for the entire past 6 months. Okay, so if you feel that you have been, let's say, evaluated unfairly, then I need you to step on toes. Okay, it could be that you had work that was not really seen. It could be that you had leadership that wasn't great. It could be something else. Okay, but we are going to be ultra critical about this so that it starts revealing where the flaws are. Okay, now you have a choice. You can say nothing and you can accept, and then you can resign or do whatever you think is right. But I think you're just failing yourself in that particular case, and that's not essentially part of what our culture means. Or you can challenge, you can reveal what you think you did, and you can earn the respect of your supervisors. You can earn the respect of the senior management. You can earn my respect too as well by showing what it is that you're doing that's actually contributing to the mission and to the semester goals. Okay? All right. I want that part to be clear. All right. It's not that the individual monthly thing affects the semester. The semester is for 6 months performance. So if you've been here performing for 6 months, that part is okay, right? That part will not be compromised. All right. But the individual month, we do have corrections by giving essentially everyone the right idea. All right. If you understand that, just give me a thumbs up. If it's still not clear, I'll re-explain it again. Yeah? Okay, good. The most important part is when you get your evaluation, give us your feedback, all right? Could be that your feedback is incorrect. Could be that there's something missing, but just give your feedback so we know that we did a good job, all right? Even the people who give you feedback, of course, need feedback too. All right, next element is, of course, this is just my go-to idea. When your curiosity is greater than your fear, then inspiration happens. Let that be actually a point to drive the last point home. When you're more curious about why is it you're not achieving your full potential, when you're more curious about what it is that is not going correctly, when you're more curious about what you're doing that is good, then I think you've actually become a more inspired person. All right, let's go into something now more light, the roundtable talk. So last week was excellent for roundtable talks, by the way. This gentleman standing to my right is Mark. Mark worked at Stratton Oakmont. For those of you living under a rock, Stratton Oakmont is the place where The Wolf of Wall Street was actually filmed. So this guy actually worked for Jordan Belfort and did investment banking back in the day. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Mark also worked at mergers and acquisitions when RJR merged with KKR. I know that's a little bit big, but it's one of the largest mergers ever. Mark also met Howard Schultz. And so for those of you living under a rock again, Howard Schultz was the CEO. Actually, he's the CEO of Starbucks. He came back recently. So he's met a lot of some of the most interesting and powerful business figures in the world. And he came to our office for the RTT. I don't know if you guys ever watched this movie. This is an old movie with Sean Connery. It was The Hunt for Red October. It's about a Russian submarine captain. Well, here's Misha. Misha is our very own Russian submarine captain. So Misha worked in the Russian Navy for a number of years before he retired and decided to marry a German lady, Monica, and then get a villa right next to Room Apartment. But anyways, Misha is a Russian submarine captain, and he left us a huge bottle, 3 bottles of alcohol, of which I will have chronic liver failure if I finish it all by myself. So if you guys want to come over and help me drink all this Russian submarine captain alcohol, please come to the Bali base and be part of the RTT. Amanda's smiling because she can't wait to dive in and drink all that grappa. Anyway, pretty interesting figures, all right? We got together with Anton, with Charlie, with Misha, with Monica, and with Mark this RTT. Brilliant dinner, really good food. Thank you to my wife for cooking some delicious Indonesian food. I actually saw most of our team enjoy eating the food, not putting all this weird bule food in their mouth and wondering why it tastes so weird. But I think most people actually really appreciated this particular cuisine, which was excellent. Charlie, by the way, the handsome guy in the middle, by the way, he's older than me, but he looks like he's 20. He's an amazing architect from Inspiral, has an office in Sonora, and he's probably the most chill person I've ever met, right? Erica? Chill as anything. The opposite of me on a Tuesday morning. Okay, anyway, Ibu Grace came over. Ibu Grace is also pretty legendary. She studied in the US. She owns 3 villas. She's like a rock star. Her kids are over in California right now, I think, studying too. Ibu Grace didn't want to have too many pictures taken, so somebody snuck in this little picture of her, but that's what she looks like. Ibu Grace is not wearing the black hijab. That's actually Mahesi. Ibu Grace is the one in the white in the center, just in case you were confused. It's not that lady in the blue shirt either. That happens to be Wayana. If you've been here that long and you don't know, get yourself educated. Okay, anyways, Ibu Grace was awesome. I was actually sitting down with 2 Russians and they took up most of my time. Otherwise, Ibu Grace might have the presence to actually know who I was too. Now she's just like thinking I'm that big chunky guy who probably only talks to boulets or something. Anyway, I see nobody laughed. Okay, not that joke won't work in stand-up comedy. All right, anyway, long story short, also we had some great moments. Rory from Villa Rafa came back. Rory and I did a podcast, which was great, but unfortunately, the microphone didn't work, and neither did the microphone over here didn't work, which makes me now wonder how many of you actually can hear my voice. Because if it didn't work for the podcast, maybe it's not working for all hands either. And the only way I know if it's working is if you smile or don't. So Tendi isn't smiling at all, so I'm wondering if he's actually paying attention. All right, there he goes. All right, there is something. Maybe the microphone is working. So Bayu, you didn't set up my station correctly. I'll blame it on you. My CTO let me down in my moment of truth. I finally had a podcast moment. And then when we reviewed the audio later, he tells me it was entirely unusable. I'm going to have to call Rory back. He'll come back because I offer free beer and good Indonesian food. So I think I can get him back to sit down again with us. Yeah. But anyways, Rory actually did us a favor too. He put me on his podcast, which gets a lot more viewers right now, but we'll fix that soon. Yeah, so he'll be, I'll be live interviewed by Rory on some occasion if you follow his YouTube channel. All right. This is me giving my only high five. High five. Very nice. Okay. What? This is a perfect picture, right? This is everybody in their natural best. Erica's like confused looking, sort of like, Erica, you could be on a movie poster like that, right? Like my crazy life at Bukit Vista. Still wondering what I should do with my life. Chinta's like, I don't know. Why did they put me on the content team? I was more comfortable doing business intelligence. What am I doing here? Just squeeze out my value here. Mahasi's giving that silly look. I don't know about you, Shaylan. You look like you're gulping for air. It looks like you are drowning and you're coming up for like oxygen. Like, okay, so hopefully you got a good breath of fresh air. And Dinda, you're perfect there. Dinda, you are like very skeptical about all this. Perfect picture, right? All natural, somewhat. Especially Dinda. Dinda, you're perfectly framed. You're like kind of between armpits and hijab line or something. So that's Dinda there. By the way, Dinda's the one over in the corner. She's like right under the Bukit Vista sign. There she is, right? That's Dinda. You guys didn't know what she looked like because she's not turning on her camera much. That's what she looks like. This is you, Dinda. This is you. You can't hide anymore. This is what you look like. You might turn on your camera so that people might get a different opinion of your actual true face, right? I'm going to keep on pressuring you until you turn on your camera. All right. Anyway, that's that. I'm glad you guys are getting a good laugh. All right. Anyway, the mission of the company is to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transform guest partners and employees. Just in case you forgot about that, let me remind you, the mission of the company is to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transform guest partners, employees. In case you forgot, okay, no, you should not forget. You should actually see this everywhere, every morning, every day. That's how important it is. All right, semester goal, revenue target. We've crossed over all 3 lines, 2.4, 4.5, 70%. So 3x individual bonuses achieve a 2.4. Okay, all right, you guys already know what this is, right? So anyways, I'll just tell you what I know. So we are paying 4x individual bonuses. The individual bonus part is where most of the thought process will go this particular next 2 days for what is your individual contribution to getting us to the semester target. Okay, so we don't need to talk about the 3x or 2x anymore. It's the 4x goal. I don't see anybody cheering, so maybe I don't really need to pay anybody. If you guys aren't going to be happy, then I might as well not be happy either. I'm already not very happy. I have to pay a lot of money. It's going to be the biggest payrolls that I'll have to do. Okay, good. Bayu wants to be paid. All right, I like that. Bayu wants to be paid. Anyone else want to get paid? No? Okay, let me screenshot this page, and I'll remember your expression when it comes time to think about that percentage slider on the individual bonus, right? Nanda, you're getting probably nothing right now. Okay, anyways, that's that. All right, interns 3, 2, and 1. So probably 3. Yeah, 3 now, right, for the qualified interns. Okay. All right, that's it. That's my 2 bits. Let me hand it back over to who am I giving it back to? Fruity?
No, to Dava.
Dafa. Dafa? Really? Can I trust you, Dafa? I don't know. This isn't all hands. Serious business here. All right, over to you, Dafa.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing, for present vision and mission statement. And thank you for showing us some photos that will become legendary one. And we're moving on to Airbnb Insight Dashboard that will present by Kak Kayla. Kak Kayla, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Deva. Good morning, everyone. Let's go to the Airbnb dashboard. You can skip. Okay, continue once again, Deva. All right, the first one would be the accuracy, which we have an increase of 0.1% from last week. Next up is the check-in. Previously is 81.7%. Right now we have a decrease of 0.2%, which fall on the 81.5%. All right, moving on. For cleanliness, unfortunately, this is actually the correct score because last week we have a bit of error. Last week we have an 69.1%. This week we have 69%, so also decrease. Next. For communications, last week we have 79.9%. This week we have a decrease of 0.2%, which means we are on 79.7%. Next, on the location wise, last week we are on 71.7%. This week we are 71.4%. Also a decrease quite significant in that. Next. For value, it's stable, still in 71.8%, but we are also, we haven't increased much from the last 2 weeks, so this is not much of a achievement basically. Next, I believe this is the last one for the overall quality. Last week we were on 72.3%. This week we are on 72.4%. So it's a bit weird because we have major decrease, but on the overall rating we have an increase of 0.1%. Yeah, Mas Gan is correct. The accuracy is the only one increase. All right. This is the quota we also see every weeks. I believe that's all. Back to you, Dava.
Okay, thank you, Kak Kayla, for present Airbnb Insight Dashboard. We're moving on to weekly mission inspiration. That firstly is Bukit Vista's mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our guests. Will delivered by Radit. Radit, the time is yours.
Yeah, sure. My hypervisor, Kak Krishna, assigned me to deliver food to the long-term guests at Villa Amarta Puratangi, and I inquiry about their food preference, and they just request 5 noodles and 5 sodas, promptly sourced from warung kita. Kak Marcel especially recommend me to buy it in the warung kita, and then while at the villa, I asked them to give us a 5-star review, and then yeah, just like that.
Okay, thank you, Radit. Moving on to next is Bukit Vista's mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our employees. Will be presented by Kak Selin. Kak Selin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dava. So basically, me and Della both initiated to delegate the team shift to the current leaders as well as the upper management. So especially to those in content, guest operations as well as partnership. So this is to train both the shift management ability of the leaders as well as me and Della's inspection skills for the shifts itself. So far, it's been ongoing for the past 2 weeks, and it's actually getting better. So we might actually like adjust few things later in the future. So semangat guys, thank you.
Thank you, Kak Selin. And moving on to inspiring the hospitality industry through the technology innovation, and will be delivered by Kak Felix. Kak Felix, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this project took like 2.5 weeks to do. So I set up the back end and help around on front end part as well. So credit to front end developer Wendy for enabling this project as well. Yeah. So this is a Promenade dashboard. As if you don't know, Promenade is for dynamic pricing, revenue management, where you set the prices of available blocks where you set the new price for available blocks. So the benefits of this dashboard is, finally you say goodbye to Google Sheets because it's really laggy and there are a lot of wrong inputs there on Google Sheets. I really can't stand it, to be honest, to use Google Sheets. So the benefits for it removes the usage of names to connect pricing decision, which was on Sheets before, to database or Bed24. Right now we use ID, so it's more robust and we can change the name and not worry about things. Better UI UX, so the table is paginated and interactive. If you modify, please open the second picture. So if you modify the prices, the color will become yellow. It means that it's modified. And please open the third picture. You can stage the decision. You can stage it so it is ready to be pushed to Bed24. If you press the button push rates to Bed24 on the last, I think it's the last picture, the last GIF, it will be pushed to Bed24 and it will move down to the third table. So the second table, the green one, it's the stage one. The last table, the third one on the very bottom, that's the decision that has been pushed to Bed24. So that's basically how to read the dashboard. So another benefits is, please open the first picture. It's an interactive model explainer. So when I click a row, you can see the graph on the top. It will update itself. That's the model explainer. As we know, the machine learning model is a black box. So we need an explanation on why they make a decision whether to increase the price or decrease the price by an amount. So we need that to have better, faster feedback cycle so we can improve the model much faster compared to before. The model explanation was on Data Vista before, and we have to input the variables one by one by typing. So it's really not intuitive and people don't use it. So on this dashboard, you just click a row and it will update the chart and we can see the explanation. Another thing is, as we save the data to database, we can analyze it better. So what's next? The first one is full automated Promenade execution. So we will, just like Gaia, it will be automated fully. However, we only select a few properties. That will be on by 5 October 2023, which is 2 days away. Another thing is add more visualization to the dashboard and connect the filter to selected row. So just like the model explainer, you select a row and the visualization will get updated based on the data that you select. So another one is another new model, machine learning model, which is more algorithm based. So we can compare each model, the current one and the new one. Also, the fourth one is approve decline button on table. So if you agree with the model, you just click approve. If you don't, you can fill the cell, the value which you want to fill it with. Okay, another thing, add statistics to get insights. So we monitor things. We add statistics for the model monitoring, and also we monitor the decision from the pricing from the revenue manager. And we don't have to ask Maria again to analyze everything. We just make it into a chart and it's real time. Also, like there are another things like move some data from Coda to the dashboard, so we don't have any dependency to Coda again. So that's the update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Felix. That's a really useful tools for our company. Okay, moving on to company team, target and achievement. Yep, that will be delivered by Kak Marcel. Kak Marcel, the floor is yours.
Ooh, a very high stage here, yeah. Okay, this is my first time doing this, so yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm the VP of Operationals right now. So yeah, company team, and can you pull it up a little bit? Okay, so for this monthly theme, I would like to continue about the accountable leadership. So let's continue with the accountability of the leaderships that revolves around three fundamental principles. That is encouraging everyone, regardless of the scope of their responsibilities, to lead with courage and integrity. Second, that is cultivating a culture of confident accountability where we take ownership of our actions and choices. Three, empowering those who excel in unfamiliar or challenging situations to make bold decisions. Inspection on this month's theme. To ensure that you guys understand about three fundamental things, I believe I just need you guys to be stand up straight with your shoulders back and move together forwardly as a team. And then we go to the inspection on this month's theme, October 3rd. Threats, unmaintained full board properties. This is actually will be under my scope, but yeah, I need to take accountability of some kind of mistakes that our football properties, which should ideally be flawless, have shown weaknesses with the cancellations due to property quality and readiness issue. We see that on Villa Roma Pertama and Omah Khaman. So I believe the actionable will be conducted through inspection of current documentation and prioritize improvements to the leaders of Marcel and Katendi. And then we have another threats of strengthening enforcement of our strategy. We have hesitated to proactively enforce partner alignment and improvement, resulting in a need for a more focused and serious approach. So we need to enhance our commitment to enforcement, emphasizing the removal of weaker partners while aligning with the strong ones. No more excuses. We will work exclusively with partners who align with our visions. Because currently, we always have some secluded situation within our company about revenue and then quality. So yeah, let's do that. And then we have some opportunity to establishing clear cleanliness and operations quality standards for marketing properties. I see from one of our on board property, Suksma, that they already they really want to follow our quality of standard, but I actually cannot answer the questions too because what is our standards? So yeah, actionable would be implement and enforce rigorous quality standards, identifying and addressing weaknesses in the process to me and look at the threats and optimize property listings. In the past, we maintained nearly all aspects of property listings almost daily through SPP, but our current approach relies on guest complaint and content requests for optimization. So we need to ensure ongoing supervision and proactive optimization of our property listings to prevent issues before they arise, shifting from a reactive to an anticipatory approach. This is actually not only to Gani, but for everyone to actually aggressively deliver expectation on listing within some kind of quality, whether it is bad or good on the listing. So we have set an expectation directly to the guest. Like I be honest, actually. So yeah, another one reminder: leveraging existing knowledge for innovations. We often fail to follow up on a leadership level ideas, resulting in repeated attempts to reinvent the wheel instead of implementing existing knowledge. So before creating or modifying anything, ensure a thorough check of our knowledge system and best practices to avoid unnecessary duplications and streamline innovation efforts. Yes, so that's the monthly inspection for October 3rd. So let's continue. October target for everyone here. Yeah, the revenue target will be $452,000 for the minimum, and the stretch will be 490,000. The 5-star will be 70%, and the stretch with a stretch of 80%, and overall 4.5 with a stretch of 4.75. September target, and we're not hitting September revenue target. The percentage of owner use stable at 5% for September with 80% unsold nights. I believe higher occupancy. Yeah. So why we're not hitting semester target? Source from BI Insights. Second, inventory too quick with significant lower average daily rate. Challenges in hospitality scores, where our five-star rating percentage is going down compared to the last 30 days. Mainly it causes by Nusa Penida properties like Villa Olala Penida, Babar Cottage, Bagasgara, and the one that always in the list, Big Nobak. We experienced so many listing suspension that mainly affected by hospitality score. Check them on the Slack channel. Okay, trust and opportunities for upcoming October that become our consideration to set targets. Trust, low season, less guest travel due to break summer holiday and may prepare for winter holiday. And then lower revenue potential due to lower average daily rates and many offboarding from large revenue contributors such as Pondok Belik, Namaskar, Pondok Kita, Rumah Taman Kutu. And there is potential of lower quality of services delivery from the field team housekeeper outside host due to lower price per day. So this potential issue need to be addressed. Oh, you don't think in the point? Okay.
Yes, commercial, because the time limitation, I'm very sorry. I think if you would like to, you can encourage all people to see the specific page of company team target achievement and read the points here, or you can distribute it later on the announcement because the time constraints that we have at the moment.
Oh, that's great. That's very okay. All right. So yeah, regardless of the threats and opportunities and any targets that we need to achieve, so please kindly for everyone here on your leaderships that is stand above to kindly maintain and accountable for your team, and let's work together to hit October and even the next semester target. So yeah, thank you for the time. Have a good day, everyone. Back to Deva.
Okay, thank you, Kak Marcel, for presentation. And moving on to promotion, will be delivered by Kaselin. Kaselin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you once again, Dava. So this is actually an announcement for promotion, yeah, guys. So I believe you can see who's the name of the person there. So we've been actually like observing like what's happening, especially in BI, and how is it going on in terms of the upper management, in terms of the leadership itself. And after several like considerations in between the upper management side, we have actually decided to promote Bella as the vice president of BI. So yay! Congratulations to Bella. And of course, with promotions, there are going to be like a set of new responsibilities as well as new expectations expected from your team or perhaps from your leaders. So do align yourself well as well to match the expectations so that you can actually like do well in your current scope. Itu aja. Thank you and congratulations once again to Bella. Yay! Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kashalin. But to everyone, I know that actually the time has passed the deadline, but I would like to extend this meeting for 5 minutes only for us to read the core value recognition and also the announcement only. So we will skip the personal updates to engage asynchronously. So Dava, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, Kak Fupon. Moving to the next core value recognition that will be presented by Kak Mahesi. Firstly, Kak Mahesi, the floor is yours.
Okay, so this one is for Nanda for being agile and also always eager to learn more. So this is the case coming from our last pitch to Bu Ari and also Pak Bayu, our upcoming new villa Sankara Anesera in Pecatu. So actually Nanda drove along the way from Denpasar to Pecatu to only learn about how we do offline pitching in Pecatu. Congrats, Nanda.
Thank you, Kak Mahesi. Next, moving on to Kak Gani. Kak Gani, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dava. Good morning, everyone. So I'd like to recognize Nadia for inspire, delight, and help others to help themselves. Why? Because Nadia has practiced delegation pretty well. Yesterday, she designed guidelines for newcomers who those and creating URC content, providing clear direction and support. this is a great example of two layer of knowledge management. So the first is not only providing guidance for specific tasks, but also give a direction of BBW content in a day. So guideline of guideline. So yeah, this is a good example. Kudos to you, Nadia. Back to you, Dava.
Thank you, Pagani. Okay, we moving on like what cover concept that we skipped for personal updates. We're moving on to the announcement, and the announcement will be delivered by Kaselin.
Okay, so for this one, just a heads up for everyone in the company. So October 2023 doesn't have any public holidays. So yeah, still 5 days of as usual. So crying cat over there. And the next announcement will be delivered by Tukan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for a smooth transition, Kashalin. So, for everyone that hasn't noticed, that actually officially per 26th of September, Irene is no longer working with us anymore. If you'd like to know the full context about this decision or case, kindly ask me or Kak Masa for the full context. Thank you very much, everyone, for your understanding. And I think that concludes the all hands for today. So let's go to Dava to finally conclude the all hands.
Okay, thank you, Kak Fulfon. We are at the end of all hands meeting. Since our time is limited, I think we need to go back to our work. Keep up the good work, guys. And thank you for joining today's all hands meeting. See you next week for all hands meeting. And yeah, see you guys.
Keep inspired, delight, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to the all hands.
Thank you all.
Have a
Yeah,
nice
keep up the
evening.
good work, guys.
Yes,
Have a
you
great
should
evening
be.
hosting.
Ini gajian. Let's go.